Hello, I'm Diane Birnholz, and when the Mark Sanchez case first broke, there were reports that he had been stabbed in the chest area in the wee hours of October 3 in Indianapolis, where Sanchez was going to be providing color commentary on the Raiders-Colts NFL game for his employer Fox Sports that Sunday. The news reports, though, were kind of sketchy on detail, and I noticed there was not a huge outpouring of support for Sanchez. It was all kind of muted, and there was something odd about it all. And I'm thinking like a former prosecutor. Okay, maybe Sanchez was involved in some kind of an altercation as opposed to him being the victim of a random stabbing. And sure enough, reports then started coming out that Sanchez had been involved in an altercation in an alley with a 69-year-old truck driver named Perry Toll, and that Sanchez was being charged with misdemeanor battery. There were reports that both men had been stabbed and that both had serious injuries. And I'm thinking, I just have a feeling this is going to turn into a felony case. And sure enough, the battery charge was upgraded, and Sanchez is now facing a level 5 felony battery charge. So what exactly does that mean? Now, under Indiana criminal law, there are various levels for felony battery, and these levels are based on the severity of the victim's injury and also other factors relating to how vulnerable that victim is. The higher the number on the felony level, the less serious the felony. Now, level 1 felonies are the most severe in Indiana, and they include crimes like murder, rape, kidnapping, and sentences typically range from 20 to 40 years. There is no level 1 felony for battery in Indiana. The most serious level for the crime of battery would be a level 2 felony. And so for battery to be a level 2, it must result in the death of someone under the age of 18 or the death of an endangered adult. So that is not what we're dealing with here in the Mark Sanchez case. Level 5 battery, which is what we're dealing with, is battery resulting in serious bodily injury. The penalty is 1 to 6 years in prison with a maximum $10,000 fine. There are also Class A and Class B misdemeanor battery. Class B is where someone touches another person in a rude, insolent, or angry manner, places any bodily fluid or waste on a person. Okay, the penalty for that is up to 180 days in jail and a fine of $1,000. Various aggravating factors like bodily injury notch a Class B up to a Class A misdemeanor, which is what Sanchez was originally charged with, and the penalty for Class A is up to a year of jail and a fine of up to $5,000. So here, the authorities determined that the injury to Toll rose to the level of serious bodily injury, and that's why they raised the battery charge against Sanchez to a felony. And in most jurisdictions, just so you know, the dividing line between misdemeanors and felonies is that 1-year line. If the punishment is more than a year, it's typically a felony, and if it's less, typically a misdemeanor. Now, Sanchez was released from the hospital yesterday, which was Sunday, October 12, and according to police, he was then immediately booked at the Marion County Jail. He has since been released from custody, and in addition to the felony battery count, he also faces 3 misdemeanor charges for battery with injury, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and public intoxication. Perry Toll is not facing any criminal charges. I'll have more on potential defenses that Mark Sanchez may have and on Perry Toll's lawsuit in my next video. Thank you.